Sonic the Hedgehog! Tails! Hi everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the videos from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists. I'm a huge fan of their work. I hope that you like this video as well. This video is about Sonic the Hedgehog, and to be more precise, is Tails. So yeah, let's start. This video came out in year 2018, so this around 2019, so this around 2 years ago.
Portion of today's episode is brought to you by the Google Pixel 3. Miles Tails Prower is
Miles Tails Prower.
supposed to be an unmatched engineering genius. The guy has an IQ of 300, he's a skilled mechanic, and apparently has...
I've built a TV out of paper clips.
A TV out of paper clips? Oh my god, that's impressive.
And reprogrammed a supercomputer.
Reprogram a supercomputer using dishwashing detergent and a toothpick. Is that even possible? That's impressive though. But still, is that really possible?
Using dishwashing detergent and a toothpick.
Basically, he can do anything. Well, anything except fly.
Oh, mayday, mayday!
That was embarrassing. At least he's got his tails. Or does he?
Oh! No! So you're trying to say that the tails of Tails can't actually fly?
Internet, welcome to Game Theory.
Oh, this is classic! Oh my god, this is the Supersonic classic, the game. Then oh, hello.
Where today we're rolling around at the speed of a relatively slow tractor trailer. 3 months ago I said I wouldn't be doing another Sonic physics video until 20 million subscribers. But man, with everyone talking about that new real-life Sonic move.
Oh, 20 million subscribers. Last I checked, you have like 14 million, I guess. 30 million, 40 million subscribers in the year 2021 in your The Game Theorists YouTube channel. So I'm sorry. Future me saying I'm sorry.
And how could they not be? I mean, look at those legs. Like, really, look at them. Ugh. Anyway, I figured now was the perfect time to explore other ways that reality is gonna ruin this franchise. Meaning that I'm turning my theorist magnifying glass onto Tails. But what did poor Tails ever do to you, Pat? Said someone who has a lot of emotional attachment to a video game character. And to that I say, he's actually had this coming for a long time. Ever since I learned how to do helicopter physics calculations back during the Chun-Li episode, I've had Tails in my theoretical crosshairs to see if his tails actually have the lift power the game says they do, or if he would crash and burn under the power of real-world physics. Tails...
Oh my god, real world physics. Oh, maybe.
is unquestionably everyone's favorite anthropomorphic fox, who uses his tails to form a single rotor system spinning fast enough to hover off the ground, propel himself forward at some pretty incredible speeds, and even go fast enough to keep up with Sonic, which, according to my old math, isn't that hard because he's slow, but if you're following his cannon top speed, that's over Mach 1, so pretty darn fast. Now, because we like Tails so much, we need to grant him a little bit of leniency here right off the bat. Having two tails, but presumably no actual rotor mechanism, you know, in that tushy region of his, Tails' tails would...
keep it family friendly, thank you, awesome. Yeah, the tushy region, yeah. Keep it family friendly, thank you.
actually just become tangled if you tried to spin him all the time. But to write off his powers in that way is just no fun. So we're gonna assume that he has some magic butt pivot going on in his foxy hindquarters to make it happen. We're also gonna assume that the planet Mobius isn't dealing with any intense wind speeds and that basically he's functioning in our own atmosphere. Otherwise, we would just have nothing to base our calculations on. So with those ground rules set, we'll be busting out our
Number 1, Tails have a magic touch. Number 2, Mobius is
calculator
basically
using comparing what we know about Tails to real helicopter aerodynamics to see if he truly has what it takes to take off. To find out if anything will lift off the ground, we need to know how much it weighs, so we know how much gravity we're going to be fighting against. According to Sega, Tails has a cannon weight, yeah, you could learn a thing or two, Nintendo, of 20 kilograms.
Oh, burn Nintendo! Ouch!
Which is one enormous fox, by the way. Foxes usually top out at about 14 kilograms or about 30 pounds, whereas Tails here is 20 kilograms or over 44 pounds.
That is one big fox. It's like, in comparison to human, it's not that much, but a fox, wow, that is big.
It's the weight of an average 6-year-old. So already Tails' chunky frame ain't gonna be helping out his liftoff because Tails would have to generate 196.2 newtons of force to enter a stable hover. The next important factor is the length and width of each tail. And when you detach and measure the size of his fully extended
Visuals don't...
tail against
That's
his
it,
body,
yeah.
we can see that each tail is equivalent to his cannon height of 0.8 meters. We can also measure that the width is 0.26 meters, but these measurements aren't the same for all Sonic games. Because of course they're not. The math is never that easy. So here again we have a measurement for classic Tails and another one for modern Tails, where original Tails' tails extend to the ends of his body, and modern Tails' tails extend past his body, giving him a larger propeller length and thereby making it easier to generate lift. Not looking so bad for the little guy. And
Yeah, true. Like, not looking that bad for the little guy. No. Little guy, just that in comparison to the others of his species, big.
by little guy, I actually mean enormous guy. Remember, he is larger than even the largest of foxes. So with that now doubling all the calculations that we need to do, all you Sonic apologists in the comments, don't say I never did anything for you. Now on to the fun part, turning Tails into a helicopter.
Turning Tails into a helicopter. That's the fun part. Okay.
Helicopter physics is really complicated, so we reached out to some engineers from Duke University to help us out with the math and the equations for this episode. So if you remember our work with the Chun-Li skull-crushing kick,
Yes.
we started talking about helicopter physics there, and we'll be able to use those same principles as a jumping-off point for this theory. Helicopter physics is based on the idea of lift, which is essentially the force needed to overcome gravity and get something off the ground.
Which is 9.81, or you want it more specific, 9.806 meters per second square.
Thanks to Newton's third law, planes can lift off the ground when the force upward underneath the wings becomes greater than gravity. But helicopters work a little bit differently. Because they don't glide through the air, they rotate. So we can start off with the equation for lift, which you can see here. Lift equals 1/2 times rho times v squared times the coefficient of lift times the area of the wing. But we actually need to change a couple things here. You know how when you do anything with a circle, all of a sudden you have to calculate everything in terms of pi and the radius? Well, it's the same deal here.
Get it? Pie as in the food pie.
Because helicopter blades move in a circle to generate lift. So when we're working with this equation, we're going to end up solving for v, the velocity of the blade spinning, but v is actually going to be something called angular velocity. I'm going to make a judgment call here and save you the headache of walking through some of the behind-the-scenes math here, because I'm assuming that people who clicked on a video about learning if Tails could fly are probably not super invested in deriving an equation for radians. But
It's like, so can he skip the math? It's like, no, the math, no. But I worked so hard for it. I'm interested in the math.
if you are one of those people and you are interested in the details, well, I have a link to this type of
Can I have some apple 3.14159? Can I have some apple pie?
math down in the description.
I'm always right. Get it? Because there's a right angle triangle. So I'm always right.
description that you are more than welcome to check out. Look at me, citing my sources. Truly, I am a changed man. Actually, that's not true. My sources technically were Duke University mathematicians that I could talk about this in real time, but here is a source that you can use that vaguely approximates some of the conversations that I
Math breakdown in the description below. Yeah.
had with them. So we can now use our equation for lift and plug in all the stuff we know, which is
That's a lot of math.
surprisingly a lot. The lift equals Tails' weight. Remember, that is the force that we need to overcome, which is just his mass times gravity, or 20 kilograms times gravity at 9.81 meters per second squared. The area of the wing in meters we just replace with the area of his tails in meters. And this is specifically referring to the actual area of his tail, not the circles that they create when they're spinning in air, which in our case is 0.208 meters squared in classic Sonic and 0.416 meters squared in modern Sonic. And rho is the density of air at sea level, which is a constant 1.225. It's actually surprisingly simple. You always see these things in equations and you're like, oh, that's a really intimidating Greek letter. How am I ever gonna solve for that one? But 9 times out of 10, it's just like, look it up online and just plug it in. The only thing we don't
It's like, rho, what's that? Rho constant? Oh, that's easier. Thank you. Thank you so much.
officially know is the coefficient of lift, which is extraordinarily difficult to
One doesn't simply calculate the coefficient of lift.
calculate when you're dealing with things that shouldn't technically be used to fly. So I'm just gonna give it a similar estimate to what we did with our Chun-Li calculations, 0.2. Just for reference, that's a very low coefficient because, to be fair, a live fox, similar to a pair of female legs, would not make for an efficient or aerodynamic helicopter. From this point, we can just plug and chug our way through this equation, and we get ourselves an answer in the form of radians, which, again, circles. Luckily, radians can be easily converted to miles per hour, which tells us how fast the tails need to spin to
Processing. Math pet. Mark. Why is this? I think it's Mark 4, I guess.
get tails to hover off the ground, which is 337 miles per hour for classic tails and 240.5 miles per hour for modern tails. Oh boy, that is one fast fox. Or at least his butt is fast. Anyway, it's surprisingly typical for a fox-sized helicopter. Our road
For fox-sized helicopter. You actually think that is possible?
rotating tail speeds equate to 1,343.4 revolutions per minute, 1,000 revolutions per minute for modern tails, and 3,630 revolutions per minute for classic tails, which actually matches with drones that fly using very similar rotor mechanisms like mini helicopters. Big helicopters with massive blades might have a typical RPM of 400 revolutions per minute, but the smaller the blades, the faster you have to spin those blades to fly, which is why heavy lift drones, similar to the weight of tails, actually have a RPM of 1,000 or more.
Note that what he mentioned is it's possible for lift. It's possible to fly up. He didn't mention about maneuvering after you have achieved lift. So let's see about that.
Just like our foxy little friend here. This one, for instance, goes up to 6,300 rotations per minute. So yeah, biologically speaking, a fox with two tails that are permanently attached to his butt with no rotor system trying to make 1,343 revolutions per minute of those tails, it ain't gonna happen. It is physically impossible. But if you assume that Tails does function like a helicopter, and you compare him to other similarly sized helicopters, the math makes perfect sense. His calculations aren't totally ludicrous.
Well, seems logic for flights. Leave.
I can't believe it. First, Sonic doesn't have arthritis from running so hard so fast, and now Tails can actually fly? It's like some sort of Sega curse on my theories. Must be retribution for calling Sonic slow or something. Oh, there's gotta be something here. There's gotta be something that... not so fast. Take a look at this picture of Tails, and now take a look at this picture of an actual helicopter. You notice something off? Yeah, outside of the fact that one is a precision piece of flying technology and the other is an anthropomorphic fox who does not really exist.
The tails part of the helicopter, there is another rotor.
The thing to notice here is that helicopters have two rotors. They've got that
Yes.
big one on the top like Tails, sure, but most of them also have these other ones in the tail. And it turns out that's not just like a glamour rotor that's just there for decoration. The reason for that small rotor tail, or other secondary rotors that you see on helicopters, goes back to the most fundamental physics out there. Newton's third law tells us that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Helicopters are no exception. If you have helicopter blades spinning in one direction, that means the helicopter underneath is spinning circles in the opposite direction. So when he actually got up in the air, Tails' tails would be spinning in one direction exactly as fast as his body would have to be spinning in the other. Single rotor helicopters avoid this problem in the real world with tail rotors, these small blades on the tail that spin in the opposing direction to the top blade, specifically to counteract the forces that are making the helicopter want to spin itself into oblivion. Without those tail rotors, the helicopter is completely unflyable. It just becomes the world's most intense egg beater ride ever. In fact, all functioning helicopters
Did you say the most intense 8-beater rides ever? What? What?
have to have two rotors somewhere on them specifically because of this problem. Even drones have an even number of rotors on them that are spinning in opposite directions for
Yes,
greater
correct.
control and stability. Without any sort of counter rotor system to keep him steady, Tails isn't just not going to be able to keep up with Sonic, he is spinning completely out of control. So in the most ironic twist of this whole theory, it looks like the thing Tails is missing is, you got it, yet another set of tails.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Oh. Oh, this imaginary tails needs more tails to fly. Gosh.
Oh sure, all the math proves that he could absolutely fly, or at least
Yes.
make it off the ground
Hover.
in a basic hovery sort of way, but once he was up in the air, he'd have no control over his directionality because the thing that gives helicopters their ability to actually go anywhere isn't the blades on top, it's the blades in the tail. If Tails could design himself a tail rotor assembly to wear while he flew, like say on his foot or something, he could technically have a chance, but as he's currently biologically structured now, Tails, just like every other fox, is grounded, done in by physics yet again. But hey, that
Don't even get me started on this. Oh gosh, Bowser. Oh my god, why? How? No, that's not possible. Gosh. Unless that is just decoration, unless that's just decoration, and there's another mechanism for it to fly.
just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Sure, the math may not have added up for our two-tailed friend, but you know what it does add up for? Our sponsor for this part of today's episode, Google's Pixel 3 phone, which, in addition to being an incredible smartphone, is also, without question, the single best camera that I own. And because of what we do for a living, we own a lot of cameras. Way too many cameras, in fact. So saying that a phone is our best camera is pretty high praise. Let me explain. Say, hypothetically, you're a blue hedgehog who was born in the 90s and who runs around at the speed of sound, but you still
Say hypothetically, there's only a few individuals, heck, there's only one individual who will fit that description, you know, a blue hedgehog.
want to show the world that you're hip and cool. Well, first order of business, don't make a live-action movie about your exploits. You're just gonna get a lot of hate for that sort of thing. But what you can do is get that online photo profile up to snuff. Enter the Pixel 3's camera. Most cameras that try to capture you mid-run will literally turn you into the blue blur, but not the Pixel 3. The phone's motion autofocus tracks a subject while they're moving, ensuring that you're getting the best selfie on the go, even when you're really on the go. And that's not
Really
all.
on the go.
Let's talk top shots. Every time you press the shutter button, the phone's camera is smart enough to capture 15 separate frames, and
What is the outfit that man is? Alright, note that this video came out in year 2019, so this is a 2 years ago video. There's a lot of improvement since then. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
AI in the phone actually recognizes which one is the best, literally offering you the top shot. Closed eyes, no smile, no more. Your eyes are open and your smile is wide every single time. Unless, of course, you're my grandmother who doesn't really like to smile. So in this case, your eyes are open and your smile is there under the surface. Long story short, you're taking fewer photos to find the perfect post. Not that it matters anyway, because with the Pixel 3, you get unlimited storage of all photos that you ever take with Google Photos, which uploads them to the cloud automatically when you're on a Wi-Fi connection, so you never have to waste another minute or another megabyte syncing photos manually or risk running out of space. Efficiency, thy name is the Pixel 3. And
Speaking of experience, yeah, the code is like, out of space, man. Too bad. Still out of space, man. Dude, come on.
speaking of speed, since we all gotta go fast, there's the super fast fingerprint sensor on the back that unlocks your phone before you even see the screen. No more swiping in patterns or facial recognition locks. You simply unlock your phone with a simple swipe of your finger as you hold it. It's a feature that single-handedly, or should I say single-fingeredly, converted Chris, guy on our team, to become a Pixel user, and he's never turned back since. Add to that wireless charging, and what you have is more than a phone, it is a life optimizer. So to find out more about the Pixel 3, click the link in the description. Hashtag Team Pixel. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go figure out what next week's game theory is on, because I'm not 100% sure. Red Dead Redemption, maybe? I have a lot of theories on Red Dead.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please consider to watch more of their videos from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists. I'm a huge fan of their work and hope that you will like this video as well. So yeah, if you do like my videos, please consider to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share fast. Do remember to follow my channel and I will see you next time. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Gotta go fast! Gotta go